Basically, Lord Splendor is mostly the motorcycle that everyone has had some sort of exposure to in our Indian community, right? So it's either your father's motorcycle, or your uncle's motorcycle, or your friend's father's motorcycle.
Ready?
Hmm.
So let's talk about the first segment of motorcycles that is very common. I mean, every next Indian ends up buying one because India is not a very strong from economic point of view, and not everybody can afford cars like they do in in the West.
We'll be talking about, if you have not yet guessed, we'll be talking about commuter motorcycles,
Correct.
right? So, a commuter is more than a bike for most people. So, it becomes a family member for a lot of people. It becomes a breadwinner for a lot of people. Unlike us, the enthusiasts, people usually consider a lot of other factors while buying a commuter, and usually it does get very generational, right? What comes to your mind for the first time when you think about commuter motorcycles?
That's a very good question and a very interactive way to start our podcast. The first commuter motorcycle would be a Splendor, maybe.
Lord Splendor.
Yeah, there's nothing like a Splendor, and when we talk about commuter bikes, it's more like everything starts with a Splendor, and I think uh, every Indian household has had a Splendor.
Basically, Lord Splendor is mostly the motorcycle that everyone has had some sort of exposure to in our Indian community, right?
Exactly.
So it's either your father's motorcycle, or your uncle's motorcycle, or your friend's father's motorcycle.
Yeah.
But in any way, you must have had some sort of experience with the Splendor. The
Correct.
Splendor is like there's a reason it's called the Lord Splendor.
Yeah. So the best thing about the Splendor is it's very cheap to buy. Um, I mean, it's very reliable. You can take it anywhere, and I think in especially in villages and urban areas, Splendor is like a hot seller. There's so many Splendors sold maybe every day that you will have no idea, and especially people will not believe how much the sales figure is actually for Splendor. So for commuter bikes, I would rate Splendor 5 out of 5 because it's very easy, cheap to maintain. It's like negligible. It's like the maintenance cost is like 300, 400 rupees, and it's very easy to buy also. Like even if you buy new or used, you can get a good Splendor and use it for commute as a like a primary bike.
It's a 100 cc, and we are rating it 5 out of 5.
5 from
5
my
out of
side.
5. I'll be like, it does almost everything. We have seen it. People take it to off roads in the villages, and they do it very skillfully. And it's actually, it becomes more than a bike.
Yeah, it becomes part of a family.
It becomes a part of your family.
Correct. So, moving on to the next motorcycle that is from the Japanese manufacturer Honda. So, we have Honda Shine. Honda Shine, like everybody is aware that it's very easy, very reliable, convenient, very good mileage also. People are getting 60, 70 also. And best thing about it is just fill it up and forget it. So the service interval is kind of 2500 kilometers, and which is kind of decent. Maintenance cost is good, not that cheap also like Splendor, I think.
Yeah, so basically, Honda Shine is for people who don't want to get a Splendor. They want to get the Honda badging, and probably because they want something with the Japanese tag. So we all know it's a Honda's engine. There's Honda's reliability. You get that smoothness. You get that good gearbox, and you get a good mileage of 65 to 70 kilometers per liter. It's comfortable. It's easy to maintain, and also a generational bike. I'd personally rate it around 4.5 because the mileage is comparatively lesser in it compared to its other segment
Correct.
competitors, but also it has a greater engine displacement. It's almost 125 cc's while compared to the other 110 or 100 cc's.
Yes. So there are other commuter bikes also. Uh, I mean right now. We will not dig too deep into others because I think the segment king would be the Splendor, followed by Honda Shine. And let's talk about Bajaj Platina. Platina is also a very decent commuter, and it's only for those people who are like, I just want to go from one place to another. I don't want to spend too much on fuel. They even forget when they have serviced their bike. So it's kind of very reliable, and it's also sold in different parts of Africa also, right?
Exactly.
If you are aware.
Yeah, it's exported to Africa. It's exported to southern parts of Americas, and it's basically Splendor, but with greater engine displacement, a bit more power, but with the good sides of the Splendor, the mileage of Splendor, and
Bajaj tagline.
and the Bajaj tagline, and you have that Hamara Bajaj feeling with it. Another generational bike. A lot of people have had their exposure for the first time with the Platina. It's still there in a lot of households. People are buying it new again. So yeah, another generational bike.
Especially in urban areas and not in city. I think in city, the Honda Shine is actually taking the lead right now.
Exactly.
Recently,
Exactly. So Honda Shine, because you have that Honda tagging.
correct.
Also, it looks a bit more aggressive than
Yes,
the other
it looks
commuters in its
a little bit
segment.
decent.
Yeah, it looks a bit more capable. It looks
Pillion
it
comfort is actually better in
it's
Honda Shine.
actually better. It gives you that proper, a bit more big bike feeling, like a
Correct.
150cc or 170cc. Derives its styles from the Hornet
Yes.
style.
Main purpose of getting a commuter is saving fuel and money, and I think I might end up getting a commuter bike because sometimes it's not practical to take GT 650 everywhere, and especially when the parking is open. I think you can like it will get a lot of anxiety, keeping your bike there, and you don't know how people, they break mirrors, they put scratches on your bike. So for that, I think commuter bike is a very good option. Like maybe I'll get a used commuter bike later on. I think the last commuter bike for today will be Honda CD.
CD Dawn 100, CD Dawn 110, CD 110. It has been launched in different names over the
Correct.
years.
And also in different countries, it has different names.
Exactly. So it was actually my first bike. Okay. So like every other Honda bike, you get that smoothness, you get that reliability. That bike was in our family for almost 15 years.
Wow, that's
Okay.
it's more become a family.
Yeah, and we never had to overhaul its engine. Okay,
So
so
it's
that's
so
the reliability Honda gives you. It gave us a mileage of 70 to 80
wow.
kilometers. My father, he learned properly. He learned
Major.
properly in that bike. I learned properly in that bike. And everything of the sorts. It gave a good mileage. It was comfortable. It had good lights and everything. And even till date, it was competing with its competitions in the 100 and 110cc category.
I mean, even now, I think if you get it, and maybe get a bigger bike also later on, I think you will not regret getting it.